Welcome back to another Dokkan about a video, and in today's video we're going to talk about the 10th year anniversary and what it has in store for us. So people are expecting like either Fusion, Namek Saga, or maybe GT, I guess, um, to be represented at the during the 10th year anniversary. Um, so I do have a concept here um, on both part 1 and 2 LRs. Now I don't think GT will be part of 10th year anniversary. That's what I think, but I'm not sure. Could be, could be. So yeah, let's start. Let's begin. Let's see here. Part 1 LRs, um, Fusion and Jenemba slash Puhan. Now, the reason why I picked those two, pretty simple. Pretty huge, like iconic moments in Dragon Ball. Uh, Super Jenemba versus Super Gogeta and Super Vegito versus Puhan, both in very iconic moments in Dragon Ball, and I do think they both fit as part 1 LRs. So how this would work is Super Vegito and Super Gogeta would be would be they would be in the same like LR, but you'd play them as separate characters. So they would in this concept they would introduce a mechanic, as people know as this tag switch mechanic in Legends. So any of you Dragon Ball Legends players would know about this, and probably most of the Dokkan players because they're made by the same company. But yeah, so so how it would work is you'd switch in between Gogeta and Vegito as you do in Legends as well, and you would swipe left or right depending on which one you would want to choose. So you wouldn't swipe up and down because that would mess with the active skill and standby skill. So they'd introduce the left and right swiping instead, and that would work pretty well, um, since they can still have active skill and yeah, standby skills. Uh, so the active skill, they're going to have an active skill. It's going to be joined, so they're both Vegito and Gogeta together, and that would be an original animation, which it's pretty sick. Original animations for fusions, and just character in general, they're always cool. They're always sick. So yeah, that would be the carnival. I don't. Yeah, carnival fusions don't have, well, that many LRs, or they don't have that many carnivals, except for um, Fusion Zamasu and Gotenks. There are no carnival LR, carnival fusions. I'm very sure. So that would be the third carnival fusion, I believe, um, and that would be a pretty sick third carnival fusion character for sure. So they would also have a domain, since super, I guess, what you would depends on what you want to call it, super characters, or yeah, super class characters or heroes or whatever you want to call them. Um, they don't really have that many domains, and the last one that was the super class was Tech UI, and that was a while ago, especially on JP. So that would fit very well with them and the fact that they're super class. Now, for the Dokkan Fest, I chose a villain. I do think the whole double Dokkan Fest in part 1 and then double Carnival in part 2, I don't really mess with that. So yeah, stick to the Carnival and Dokkan Fest in each part. Yeah. So yeah, the Dokkan festival for part 1 is Buhan and Jinanbao. They fought Super Vegeta and Super Vegito, or not them together, but um, individually. So that makes sense as they're the counterpart to Vegito and Gogeta. Um, they would have also an active skill that is them together. So that would also be an original animation, which would I mean that would be the first Geneva and Buhan animation in the game. That would be very very sick. They would also have the tag switching mechanic, so you can switch either to Buhan or Geneva, and they would also have stat no the team protect target mechanic. That mechanic they would have. Now I don't know um, what categories they would be on. Um, but I'm thinking as a tag switching mechanic, they would have all the characters that Buhan and Shinaba has. Since they're not the same. Like they're not in how do I say this? They're kind of like separate characters on the same unit, as in Legends as well. Um, so if you switch into Buhan, you'd have his categories, but if you switch into Janemba, you'd have his categories. So they would be separate. Um, although the name would not be separate. That's the thing. The name would be like Super Janemba and Buhan, um, but like the categories would be separate. So they would be a new named character, um, which I think Dokkan should have more. Like they should introduce more new named characters, so you can run them with other characters, so you don't lose um, the effects of links and stuff. Yeah. So they would have the team target. Well, yeah, target mechanic. So they would protect the team, their teams. So like not super bosses, movie bosses, um, Majin Buu Saga, artificial life form, and those categories. Um, yes, that's for part one. I was thinking of switching. Well, I originally was thinking of having Kid Buu instead of Buhan, but he didn't fight Vegito, so it didn't really make much sense to have Kid Buu there. Yeah, sorry Kid Buu. Yeah, you have to wait for another one in this concept at least. So part two, kind of the same thing, but instead of Super Vegeta and Super Gogeta, it would be the blue, well, the blue version. Yeah, Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta and Super Saiyan Blue Vegito as the Dokkan Fist. So they would also work in the same way, tag switching mechanic, and they would also have a joined active skill. But they would have a domain as well, as that would work very well for super class characters. It would clash with TQI's domain, but um, yeah, that would be a problem actually. But I don't know. Hey, Omatsu, you gotta fix that. You gotta find some way to so domains can coexist. You know, they gotta fix that. Anyways, so that would be the Dokkan Fest for part two. I think they would go so crazy with the animations. So yeah, I mean, it's Blue Gogeta, Blue Vegeta. Yeah, they would go so crazy, man. Yeah. So Carnival would be Full Power Broly and Corrupted Zamasu. Would this be the first? Yeah, this would be the first Carnival Corrupted Zamasu and Carnival Broly. Um, as they are separate playable characters, um, because they would also have the tag switching mechanic, as the other ones have. Um, so they would be separate playable characters. So they would also have their not their separate carnival character. Like they'll still be the part of the same card, but they would be separate playable characters. And they would also have a active skill joined together. I know that would be go so crazy, man. Full power Broly and corrupted Zamasu. Yeah, that would go so crazy. Um, so they would also have a target mechanic, just like I mean Beast Gohan or Well, I mean, what kind of target mechanic would they have? That's a good question. Like you, like um, Carnival Gogeta that we had in during 90th anniversary. He has a 100% dodge target mechanic, which um, is pretty good. But I think it's only for one turn though, right? I'm not sure, but if it's only for one turn, that would be cool. But I mean, for super bosses, you would want like at least three turns to protect your team because super bosses are shit, man. They're actually dog shit. They're so bad. Super boss is so bad. They need like 3 4 turns for like they need to be protected like during the whole fight. So yeah, I think a very broken target mechanic for them specifically would work very well. Um, so yeah, that's it. That's all I got. Part one, and part two. I think this would be a very sick um, anniversary if this was like if they did this concept. Um, I think I like the animations would go so crazy, man, and I think they would all be very broken as well. I might do like another concept more on events and I mean ECAs and stuff like that, like a full concept on the whole anniversary. Maybe I guess I'm not sure. I'll have to think about that later on. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got. Have a nice day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.